So last night I managed to carve out a little bit of time and I decided to go get lost in a bit of Call of Duty on my PS4, and things didn't feel so lacquer. They didn't feel so right. They were buggy, they were sluggish, things didn't load up as quickly. Of course, I went ahead and checked my internet connection, my LAN cable. There's the links up here to a couple of videos I've done about that, and that just didn't solve the problem. But then I remembered a little trick I used a couple of years ago that made the world of a difference on my PlayStation and just boosted that performance, and I could instantly do that. So I thought I'll share it with you. Let's do this.
Break it down now, phone, gadget, apps, it's the Techie Guy, yeah.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Talking Tech with the Techie Guy. My name's Liron Segev, where I make tech simple. If you're into phones, gadget, apps, tips and tricks and how to, hit that subscribe button and let's get on to today's show. So remember when you have your old Windows machine, and what you used to do every once in a while was something called a defrag. What that means is that your hard drive gets full with lots of data, lots of information, and the computer tries to write all that information into blocks, one after each other, to keep things concise. It doesn't have to keep searching for those bits to make up your files. And what happens over the years, you install things, you uninstall things, and you get all these gaps in between those files. And therefore, when you do a defrag, it kind of compresses everything together, lining everything up. Same thing that happens on your PlayStation. You've installed games, you've uninstalled games, you've installed DLC, updates, you've uninstalled them. All of those things just take up space on your drive, but then they are all over the place on your PS4. What defrag does, it kind of compresses it all together, realigns things up, and getting rid of those blocks. It doesn't do any harm, but of course, usual disclaimer applies. Do this at your own risk.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top and we're going to go all the way across to the power options. Click on that. Pretty difficult to do this with one hand in the camera, but okay, we'll manage. Right, when you enter here, now do not enter the rest mode. You want to go into power options, click on that, and then you want to go into turn off PS4. You want everything shut down correctly, not into rest mode. You want everything completely off. Very important for the step. Okay, now that it's off, let's go look at the PlayStation itself. We have to wait for this light to stop flashing, which means it's powered down, it's saved everything it needs to save properly, and then we're ready to start. So give it a couple of seconds. You should be able to see the light switching off any moment now. Okay, there we go. Now that it's off completely, what we're going to do is I like to go to the back and basically disconnect the power cable. Leave it out for a couple of seconds, normally 10-15 seconds is fine, just to make sure that no other circuits are still running, no battery backup or anything like that. Okay, let's plug it back in. And what we're going to do now is switch it on, but we're going to keep our hand on the power button. You're going to hear the first beep to switch it on, and 7 seconds later you'll hear another beep. Don't let go of that power. Hold it. Okay. Now you'll see it's entered something called safe mode. And now it gives you the instructions. Connect your DualShock 4 using the USB cable and press the PS power. Okay, let's do that. There you go. Mine is connected. Pressing the power button. And I've now entered into the safe mode. And you see a whole bunch of options: restart, change resolution, update system software, restore, rebuild database, initialize PS4. Now, to navigate around using the controller, that's simply not going to work. What you want to do is use the arrows on the left hand side. So scroll down and you want to go to rebuild database. Very important that you do not click on initialize PS4, because that will reinstall the entire system, that will reset it to factory defaults. Make sure that you're on rebuild database, and then you press the X is the enter button. Press that, and now you'll see that it starts to rebuild the database. Now this will take a few minutes to a few hours depending on when was the last time you did that. And then you have to give the OK button. So let's do it with one hand. Move it over to the OK and press the X for enter. And that should pretty much do it. Now it will switch off, switch back on again. And now you'll see on the screen, rebuilding database. Give it a second. Do not panic. Do not unplug anything at this stage. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Rebuilding database.
One eternity later.
Right, through the magic of fast forwarding and time lapse, you don't have to watch it going 1%, 2%, 3%. It's now done. And now you can see I'm back to normal. Welcome to the back to the PlayStation. Simply grab your controller, press the PS button as you normally would, and everything is here. But you will note that some of my recently played games aren't there on the default screen. You'll see some of the notifications pop back up, things that I dismissed years ago. That's fine, you just have to go with it. Now, I didn't have to re-download anything. I didn't have to re-download DLCs, didn't have to re-download any updates. Some people say that they did have to. I didn't find that in my experience. So just a heads up, you may need to do it or not. It's just weird like that. As you can see, all my applications are still here. Nothing was deleted, nothing was uninstalled. The only thing I remember that I did have to do is re-log into things like Netflix and Hulu. So it lost those settings. But under my captured gallery and saved data, you can see 2.97 gigs of saved data. It's all still here waiting to be used. I can simply fire up my game and then get back into it. Rebuilding your database makes a huge difference. Like defragging your hard drive makes a huge difference on your Windows machines.
Let me know what you guys think. Did it make a difference for you? Check out some of these other videos down here about the PlayStation and faster Wi-Fi and getting all that goodness out of your network. Hit the head below to subscribe if it's your first time here. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in one of those videos or both of those videos. We can see two videos. I'm fine. See you there.